I want to welcome you to my personal development podcast if you're a new listener. Guys, this is our 100th episode. 100! That's crazy to me, man. That's crazy to me. And it feels like yesterday it probably feels like a month ago I started, and it just seems like it went by so fast. 100. So guys, again, thank you for tuning in with me. This is a beautiful Sunday, and we're at it again. And guys, if you're new to the podcast, again, welcome. And I want to tell you that we do a little segment on this podcast called We're Not Friends. So guys, like the title tells, We're Not Friends. If you're one of those people, this is a huge pet peeve for me. Huge pet peeve for me. When you're a person that has a position of authority or influence, and you don't take time to hear people. So let's go back through that, because I think you may have missed my point. When you don't take time to listen to people speak to you, especially give you accolades and give them your time in return, and you almost act as if you're too good for them or that you have other important things to do when this person is the person why you're even an influencer to begin with, we're not friends. I don't want to have anything to do with you. I don't like you on so many levels. So many levels. And people like you shouldn't have a position of influence or authority because you don't know how to use it. But there are those people out there. They exist. They exist. And if you just pay more attention to the body language and the mannerisms, the facial expressions on the quote-unquote influencer's face as they're getting spoken to from a fan or a follower or anything, and they're asking them a question, pay attention to the way that they choose to receive and absorb that person. If they're not standing in a posture of just openness and listen and a posture of just listening to them, I believe they got a wrongful heart. I don't believe that they really are in it for the person, and they're just in it to what they can extract from the person. And to be honest with you, that is a quality that I'll never look up to, I'll never admire, and I don't think you should either. But guys, that's that. That's really something that's just a huge pet peeve for me. And honestly, it kind of bleeds into what I want to talk to you about today. And that's that we have so many tests that we go through in life. And I know you can attest to this. But there are so many tests that we go through as human beings, and they're really just catalysts to developing our true potential. And that's all they are. And some have way more trying and challenging tests than others. But in reality, they're all just a test. And they're just to test us to see if we have what it takes to make it to the next level. And you may feel that you do. You may feel internally, I got what it takes. I know I do. And here, the other person that knows you have what it takes because he gifted you with it is God. And so he's going to give you little challenges and little tests. And they may come in the form of a person. They may come in the form of testing your patience. Maybe you have a hard time being patient. And maybe he's testing you in a very busy time in your life with a person that seems like they have a very futile or lackluster question. But he's testing you to see if you'll be patient to listen to them and actually help them as if you had all the time in the world. And it may come in the form of something else. I mean, there's so many different tests. I'm not going to go over all the options that your test could be, but so many different tests can come your way, and they may not even look like tests because they're just in everyday life, and they're not really framing themselves as challenges, so to speak. It's just the way that you talk to somebody. It's the way that you handle or react to a certain situation. It's the way that you choose to maybe wash your dishes. It's the way that you choose to be disciplined or give your authentic self to a person that you don't feel deserves it. Or it's the fact that you're turning your other cheek to somebody. I mean, so many tests, but they're daily. And we get big tests and we get small tests. And I often feel that in my own right, that I fail a lot of the small tests. I just fail at the way I react because I'm not perfect. And I don't claim to be. But I sometimes will fail at the way I react towards my girlfriend. I'll fail the way I react towards my mom. I'll fail the way I react towards a friend or a passerby. But I fail, and then I always, if it's somebody that I know I don't have constant communication with, like maybe a passerby or maybe somebody that I go and see at the coffee shop or something, I always have to make it better. I always have to make it right. And that's called just having a conscience, right? And sometimes we can suppress our conscience. That's a whole other topic. But really, it's hard, and it kind of stabs at our pride a little bit when we have to go against the conscience and actually do the right thing, even though it's the right thing. Because our stubbornness and our pride, I think, are one and the same. They tell us, don't go bigger than that. Well, really, that's being bigger than that means you're going to go back and you're going to make it right. It's the small people, it's the flagrant people, it's the weak people that don't have the balls, so to speak, to go back and make things right. And I obviously know that's been me many times. But I am proud to say that in a close circle of people in my life, it's even people outside my life, when that happens, I do go back and make it right. I do. Unless there's something that I feel strongly on, like an opinion I feel strongly on, and I don't waver. That's also a side of me too. That may be a side of you. But at the same time, knowing that you have to go back and make it right, not to just clear your name. It's not for name's sake why you're going back and you're making it right. It's because that's a part of your integrity. And that's laying on your conscience. And I believe, like I've said this before, God talks to you through your conscience. And he's just guiding and navigating you through that element. And you could choose to listen, you could choose not to listen. But I'm telling you, that's a test. You don't want to fail the test. Even the small, minute, incremental, seemingly fleeting tests, you want to pass those because that's the only way you're going to get to the next level. And you may say, yeah, but I got what it takes. I know I'm going to get there. True, but you got to pass tests, dude. You're just like me. I'm just like you. If you don't pass tests, how is God going to be the provider for all your resources? How is he going to feel comfortable and confident that you can handle things on a high level when you can't even handle things on a low level? He's not going to bless you with more. If you're a parent, I'll give you an example. When you were young, if you kept messing up and getting things taken away as a result of your fouls, you know, your parents would take away your Game Boy. I just dated myself. Because Game Boys don't even exist now. But you take away your Game Boy, you take away your playtime, and you're still messing up, they're not going to give you back those things, much less give you more rain. It's the same thing. We just don't see it that way because we don't see God as a real person. But that's the way he conducts himself. And that's the way he blesses. It's the same as your parents, just on a much higher level. So you gotta pass the test. This is non-negotiable. This is non-negotiable. You have to pass the test. Now, God is such a loving, unconditional God that he gives you test after test where you, if you were in his position, you wouldn't. You wouldn't have the same mercy. You wouldn't have the same graces. You just wouldn't because you're a human and you have emotions that overrule your internal and overall psychology. You would just get too emotional about it and you'd be, no, done with you, done. Lucky for you and me, God doesn't feel that same way. Lucky for you and me, he gives 7,000 of the same tests over and over again because he wants you to pass, because he wants to bless you with more. And he wants you to be able to handle more. And he's not going to give you anything more than you can handle. You know that, though. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But I am telling you something that you probably don't recognize every day. And that's the little conversations that you have, the little seemingly underwriting, discounting tasks that you fail. They're keeping you from the big picture. It's a test. And it's up to you to pass. And the way that you pass is by having the intrinsic, visceral qualities of being integral and listening to your conscience as a result. But I can promise you, if you don't do those things and you think that you're still going to get there, you're only lying to yourself. You're then following a pipe dream that will not come to fruition. And if it does, it's blessed from the enemy. It's not blessed from God. And it's anointed by the enemy, not from God. And that's a path and a journey you do not want to follow, my friend, because it will inevitably lead to your destruction. So listen to me, don't listen to me. I'm telling you the truth. Receive it, don't receive it. I'm telling you the truth. That will always and forever be a blanket statement. What I just said, it's a test. Choose integrity. Choose to listen to your conscience. Set down your pride and follow what you know to be the right path. Everything else will come as a result of your good-natured intent to follow your conscience and to actually pass these small, seemingly incremental tests that will inevitably lead you into your divine purpose and extract and actually unfold all of your potential that's probably laying dormant right now. The tests are there to precede you, to actually benefit you. And it starts with the small ones, the ones that you think are not worth anything, the conversations, the paperwork, the not leaving anything out when it comes to doing a task. Those are tests. And they're all applicatory in different ways to our mental faculties and our disassociations that we're dealing with. Those little tests, they're the biggest ones, man. So please, be conscious of these little tests that are framing you, informing you, and actually extracting all the potential that God gave you to begin with. Don't leave anything on the table. Every single day. Every day matters. A year doesn't matter. Every day matters. Do you understand? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, that doesn't matter. You don't even know if you're going to get those, but you know you have today. So make every day the best that you can. And I'm not saying live to the fullest and all that and do stupid shit. I'm telling you, make sure there's nothing that you can turn over. Make sure that you're not leaving any conversation unturned. Make sure that you're not leaving anybody feeling off about you. Make sure that you're doing your best, you're being your best, you're living authentically and integrally. Done.